All right, welcome fight fans to another weekend recap on DStyleBoxing. I am Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. We got DStyleBoxing. We got Stormy B-Man. And we got G Funky 84 up in the house. So we're going to go ahead and get into this coverage of some of the events that led us into this new weekend. We had some hot stuff that went down, and we're going to get right on into it. So without further ado, we'll start with our first topic, and that's going to be with the cancellation of Clarissa Shields, the debacle that went down at that weigh-in, and we'll get each of the brothers' opinions on this one. So we'll start with D-Style on this one.
All right. Check it out, bro. Okay. It's about the Clarissa Shields situation, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to MBT Boxing, by the way. I see you. And he what's in. Check it out, man. All right. First of all, okay, I want to present you guys with this. Okay. So gentlemen, just for a moment, if you don't mind, I'm going to take up the whole screen. Okay. So check this out. All right. Check this out. Here is a guide. This is for it. So share this video with anyone who's confused whether or not he should hit an old man. Right? So, and then when he should hit an old man, when it's okay to hit an old man, the whole nine. This is going to cover everything for you guys. Okay. Here's a guide for those confused about the whole, is it okay to hit an old man thing? Right? We were never confused about this in previous generations, but new generations, they're really confused about this. So we got to help them out. All right. So here we go. All right. Did the old man say mean things to you? No, okay, and do not hit the old man. Okay. Yes. Was it towards you or your sister? So if it's towards you, you go down. He acted tough and sized me up. Nah, not a good excuse. What if I cheat shot him? No, not a good excuse. All right, no, you don't hit the old man. Right? It says here, do not hit the old man. But hold on, well, it was towards my sister. Oh, okay, so let's follow this. But it was fighting words. Nah, not a good excuse. You got to keep going down. But he acted tough. Still not a good excuse. What if it's face-to-face? Nah, still not a good excuse. It turns out you do not hit the old man. But what if slap yourself? No. You don't hit the old man. Okay? Leave the old man alone. I don't care if the old man acted tough. I don't care if he quote unquote sized you up. What are you going to knuckle up with an old man? So if you go to Citizens, okay, I'm sure that if one of your parents is at a Citizens home, you're perfectly okay with one of the nurses beating their asses if they act up, right? And they talk back at one of the nurses, it's okay for them to slap them across the face. That's what you're saying? Oh, but he called the nurse a bitch. That's why she was slapping him when he was tied down to the bed. It's okay. Right? You're okay with that. It's okay to hit an old man, is what you're saying. A dude in his 60s, 70s, it's okay. No, but where I come from, what are you dudes are like, you're internet gangsters. You're not real gangsters. Okay? I don't know what the fuck. I know gangsters. They don't hit old people. Okay, do you understand? Oh, but where I come from, this, in my side of town, if you have fighting words, you better knuckle up. Is that so? Is that so? It's bullshit. I cannot believe we have idiots out here still justifying it. By the way, it was a cheap shot on top of that. But even if it wasn't a cheap shot, even if it was face-to-face, it's still not justified. You do not hit old men. Got dudes out here. Well, if your grandpa talks shit to my sister, I knock him out. Like really. Like it's like that. Oh, you guys you're real tough. Yeah, you're a really tough guy because you would beat up an old man. That makes you really tough. That really shows that you don't tolerate bullshit, right? You're a real tough guy. I knuckled up with an old man. What's up? Like, shut the fuck up, right? Only a bullshit artist, only someone full of shit would say something like that. Only somebody that's full of shit would say something like that. Because, dude, as much as I hate you motherfuckers right now, I still wouldn't hit your grandpa. Okay? I still wouldn't do it. Even if your grandpa agreed with you and called me a bitch, I still wouldn't do it. There's no excuse. I know I told a story last time when I was in Walmart with my cart. I bumped it, in the turn. The cart's hit. The old man started calling me all types of names. What was I going to do? Knock the old man out? Because he told me to watch where I'm going. It was his fault. I apologized and I moved on. What the hell am I going to be doing like fighting an old man for? For what? Now, people are desensitized to this. This was the amazing part. We talked about this offline, right? Servant B-Man brought up about an old lady that was beat up by some dude. I've seen videos of an old man getting knocked out. And people think it's cool and they think it's funny. It's not cool. It's not funny. And no, you're not badass. Where I come from. Once you say something, that's it. It's on. It doesn't matter you're 70 years old. Yes, it does matter. Are you stupid? Like, are you that retarded that you don't think it matters? It matters. Of course it matters. You must be stupid. In our society, we have a duty to respect the elders. We have a duty to protect the elders. We have a duty to that. That's all I got right now, Reggie.
All right, let's get your take on this, OG, Stormy B-Man.
Well, hitting old people or specifically about the incident that took place over the weekend?
Both of them. We'll get both takes on it.
Well, I come from an era where we were raised to respect our elders, and that was taboo to assault or even think about doing anything to someone that was considered a senior. Times have changed, however, and ethics have changed, which is why we see more and more crime that is like crossing the line of disciplines and things like that, because you will have always had crime, but when you don't have respect for certain boundaries, as even you D-Style mentioned, it's like even real mobsters and gangsters, they have a code. You don't touch certain people, you don't touch certain family or kids or whatever, and that had always been, the ethic. But now we seem to have younger people that are just aimless. They don't have that type of discipline, and typically that starts in the home or the environment of their upbringing, where they are introduced to what to and what to not respect. That being said, the events that transpired over the weekend just saw another example of this, and even the way that it was carried out. It's one thing if you wanted to step to Mr. Bashir and confront him man to man and say, hey, what's what? Even that would still kind of be disrespectful because he's a senior. What really, old people are going to talk. They've lived on this earth, and they're going to say things you don't like or whatever, but don't give you a right to put your hands on somebody. But he was attacked while he was off guard. It was a blindside attack, which was really a cowardly move as well. It just speaks a lot about the person that may have carried out that act, and I just don't like the fact that we can still be sitting here and talking about these kind of things, and I feel in fear that going forward in the future, we're going to see worse things because there doesn't seem to be anything in place currently to have people pay for acting out. We're seeing it, with you can talk about. It's down that avenue. It's just a situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get your take on the G Funk.
Oh man. Well, first I want to say thanks, for you guys having me on today. Yeah, when I first seen this, it was just an absolutely disgusting act. Whoever did this, and as hard as this might be for some of you guys to hear, it does not surprise me with the way that these young people are living their lives today, man. A lot of them just are lawless, they're reckless, they have zero respect for anything in life, anything in this world, man. And it just did not surprise me to see that happen. Although it's still because I'm a person that I believe in respecting the elders. So when I seen the guy on the ground, and the blood on the ground, it shook me up to see that, because I just I still can't believe it, even though it's something that we see often. I mean, I remember a few years ago there was a knockout challenge that they were doing on social media where these teenage kids were knocking out older people like this. Not only that, but there's videos of people on social media a few years back where they were beating up on autistic kids and special needs kids. And and to kind of jump on Stormy's point where he's talked about how things are going to get worse. Yeah, I am afraid of because I have kids. So it scares me every day when I send my kid off to school, wondering if something's going to happen to her, or even the elders in my family, them going out in public and doing normal things they got to do. It is scary nowadays, man, because these kids have no respect for anything, man. And just because the guy, caused a scene and said what he said, it still doesn't give you the right to hit him like that, And it's just a disgusting act, man. And I hope that whoever did it, they catch them, and that person, gets justice done. Justice has to be served for this because he certainly didn't deserve that. You could say whatever you want to say to him, after what he said, but to do something like that, that's just going way too far. And we got to do better, man. We got to just really do better with these type of things. They have to stop, man. And I can sit here all day and talk about this, man, but I'm gonna cut it right here because I could go on and on, man. But I hope that he gets better, and that's really all I can say, man.
Man, right on, right on. I want to give my take on it as well. Also, while we're in here, if we don't mind giving some love to that like button as well. Let's get these likes up. Go ahead and throw a jab to it. My take on this, man, is that we have lost a lot of the codes when it comes to who we protect and how we go about living in this society, whether you want to be a thug or not. There are limits to what you do, and there are people who are off touch when it comes to things. Women, children, and the elders. A lot of these controls has been lost because a lot of these dudes ain't been raised properly. They've been raised with a lot of feminine energy. They're emotionally imbalanced. They are with masculine type energy, thinking like women. They react to anything which they don't agree to. Now, Mr. Bashir, yeah, he was out there making the comments to the sister, offensive comments, but these are things that should have been let go, things that could have been diffused. This man posed no threat to anyone. Him sitting in a seat with his sister more than 50 feet away, he poses no threat to anyone on that team, no female in the building. The guy doesn't have a gun in his hand. He's no threat. There's no weapons involved, no threats to anyone 50 feet away from you while you're sitting down, having a back and forth argument, which is commonplace within some of these weigh-ins. We see the Charlos in them be very combative in their weigh-ins. Nothing escalate. We seen during the Badu Jack versus Marcus Brown, things escalate amongst the team, but not one point has anything come to fisticuffs. Now, for this young man We don't know where he's from, but the reports are coming out that he's from Clarissa's team. To blindside this old man and strike him like that, it just shows the cornball nature of the society we live in. And also within in this kind of in this recent week, we see in Houston where these two young teens attack this elder woman pumping gas at the gas station to her own vehicle. These folks pop out of the blind side, approaching this woman, attacking her as she runs off with one of the young teens punching on her while she's on the ground, still in her vehicle. We have the other case in New York that we were talking about. I believe it was in New York with the 71-year-old woman being punched by a guy earlier in this year, and they just arrested this dude. Him punching this woman, fracturing her face, knocking out some of her teeth as well. But this same fool is involved in raping a woman and being released. But I'm pretty sure no one in his family holds him up to being responsible for the acts. We just have so many of these cases and so many people that make excuses for punk ass people that we live amongst. But me, I don't have no tolerance for it amongst folks who I live with. But there's no way that anybody can add any excuses or pass any blame towards what Ali Bashir did. There are many failures upon what went down. And even with Clarissa Shields, everybody's thinking this is an attack on Clarissa. This has nothing to do with her. But what she felt that is making statements following this incident. Anytime anybody's involved in anything, some of you fools who want to play gangster and all that stuff, you lawyer up. First thing these lawyers tell you is to shut your dumb ass mouth. And when she messed up on that bad PR move, this is something she's going to have to live with, along with missing out on that damn money. So there's no excuses anyone can make for this besides giving ownership to this dude making a whole ass move. And the issue I have is where people fall in support of people, but not keeping it real. They'll find anything of either you're with me or against me. And people are always for the dumb shit, the fake shit, the lying shit, just to protect people, even no matter how wrong they are, you're going to still protect them. Anybody else got anything else they want to add on to this?
Do we know anything about this individual? Is it confirmed that it's the brother of Clarissa Shields? Is that a confirmation? Do we know?
I haven't heard nothing about it, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been rumored. I've seen on one of the websites, Boxing 24, I was at Fight Scene where they updated their website and they said that it was confirmed through Showtime that this happens to be her brother. And that would be bad move when she's been denying it being related to anybody from her team or in relation to her. That'd be detrimental if it is her brother.
Okay. Yeah, look, man, the one thing people will say, Reggie, is, well, that a woman didn't provoke the attack. Ali Bashir did. And I think that's the one thing that people are going to say. That he had it coming because his mouth got him in the situation that it got him in. If he never said anything, he wouldn't have been attacked. And I always fall back to the same thing. I don't give a shit what he said, okay? The attack is not justified. You do not attack an old man, all right? It's not justified at all. And the fact that it was a blindside shot, a cheap shot, it only makes it twice as bad. But I say that because it doesn't make it any better, even if it was face-to-face, all right? At all. If he wanted to confront Ali Bashir as a man, like, hey, look, man, I just want you to, don't say that to my sister, right? And then walk away or something. Okay, fine. Right, but I don't even think that was necessary. They should have just let it go. Let it be. Okay, it's not like she didn't say anything. She was saying shit back to him. What gets to me, people are acting like he just randomly went at the sister, right? The dude is there. He's the head trainer of his fighter. He's trying to see the scale. Clarissa Shields is moving down in weight. He wants to make sure that she's not over that weight. That's his job. And the sister's ass is right there in the way. And he told her to back up, and then she didn't back up. Right? And then she got in his face. That's what started the confrontation. It's not he just randomly did it. She didn't show respect to her elder. She got in his face. And they both exchanged words. And did he continue afterwards just because he was heated? He was mad. All right? So what? So what if he said, "Oh, I'll knock her out"? Who cares? Like, did he knock her out? No, right? Those are my final thoughts on that.
I want to say one more thing too, please. We're living in an age now where there's no filter. You have the internet, you have graphic programming on television and the movie theaters, even suggestive influences, no matter where you look, for people to be exposed to things to the degree where there, with no filter, then there's no sensory. You have a detachment. It's a cold response. People that play shoot 'em up video games, people that play Grand Theft Auto and everything for 10, 20 hours a day. And then they can go outside and punch somebody at the 7-Eleven because they were out of their favorite snack cake or something. And the police is called because they lost discipline and just punched the guy. Oh, what do you mean you don't have any more? Boom. And they hit the person. It's like you're seeing more and more and more of that. And we're living in this society where people do this. And you know what their response is? Their response is, you should have had what I was looking for. Remember the chicken sandwiches at Popeyes? People were getting into fights and stuff over that mess. And it was like, they shouldn't sell out of it. Stores sell out of shit. You understand? So what are you talking about? You need to be in control of yourself. And that's the other factor that is not being addressed, because boxing, contact sports now, because it was boxing before contact sports, there's always the tension of the press conferences and the face-offs and the weigh-ins. Tensions flare, people say things or whatever. That's what it's supposed to be about. These characters who have found themselves a part of entourages and everything and come along for the ride, and they're saying stuff and all of that. Again, with this society that we're in now, with that loss of discipline, the ante is upped and amped up tenfold when you have people available in this manner. Any of the participants should fear for their safety. You don't know if somebody's going to jump out of the crowd with a knife, a gun, or whatever. It gives you room for pause in this. But again, what is the answer? We know what can be done in the aftermath. Somebody go to jail and charges are pressed, but someone's usually hurt too and paying a severe price. But how do you go about pulling the cord on this not happening in the get to a degree where someone actually is in a more dire situation because they got shot at one of these events or something like that? Not saying that what happened to Mr. Bashir was not dire, because it was. You could see the end result that it was. And I am not trying to belittle that by any means. But I do think a closer look at what's happening should be taken, and examples need to be set. People need to be made examples of, harsh examples. I know you don't have to worry about me going out in the public at a public event, losing my discipline and getting all irate and causing a commotion and everything. But I don't know about you. You know what I mean? That other person that's out there, I'm concerned. I'm concerned as hell. You know, you go to see a movie. A few years ago, people went to see the Batman movie. Some fool comes in there and pulls out a gun and just starts shooting everybody in the theater. What the hell? When I was a kid, you'd never dream of anything like that happening. What in the world is wrong with these people, man? And it is something you got to take a closer look at your society and what's happening here. And harsh punishments have to be meted out for this mess. Otherwise, it escalates and escalates. Like G Funk was saying, it will escalate. That's what I got to say. I'm sorry.
Man, you hit it. Great points. Great points, man.
Look, bro, look. We just got called out by 4 dudes. We got to knuckle up. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, we got to fight these guys. Okay?
Let's roll.
What are they at? What's up? What? Right? We're going to fight these guys. Right? Because apparently it's acceptable to fight dudes like this now. Okay? So you're walking by. All right, quick test for you guys. If you're walking by, and one of these old men says, "Hey, you young punk, you want to knuckle up? What are you guys going to fight him or something?" Is that what you're saying? You're going to go fight one of these dudes right now. If they size you up. Okay, I got the one with the cane. I don't know what you guys got. That's mine, all right? But yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I just want to say I concur with all you guys' points, man. Especially what you said, Reggie, about how a lot of these young men nowadays they have that feminine emotional spirit on them, and you can see it, man. You can just see it. I mean, you say one word to them and they're ready. Oh, they're ready to, ready to do whatever it takes, to fight somebody or something like that, But yeah, I don't know how society got this bad so quick. I mean, I can remember when I was a teenager, we were out playing basketball in the street about 8:30, 9 p.m. And one of the old ladies down the block decided to call the police on us because she didn't want to hear us playing anymore. And the police came and told us, but not once did it come into my mind or any of the other guys that were playing to go over there and do something to this lady for that. Not once did that even come up. Man, it's just disgusting. Really is disgusting to me, man, to see this type of behavior.
Man, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. And we hit that one. We hit that one hard out the park. And man, society, others around you, hold people around you up to code, especially the youth. And that's the problem. This is where starts to kind of fester itself. It incubates with these young folks. So it's time to check the behavior and things that we allow with these young folks. Nip it at the bud. All that soft shit, nip it. But also, man, I want to give thanks. Salute out here to Scrapbook Boxing. We got the historian out there, the OG. You guys go subscribe to Scrapbook Boxing. A true veteran at this game. He is great at what he does. The knowledge and wisdom that he's putting out here and to holding some of the forgotten heroes in the sport. Absolutely outstanding work over there at Scrapbook Boxing. You guys see him in the commentary. Just click on the page, subscribe, get back in here. And if you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button for us. And we're going to roll over into our second topic. This is going to be the fight over the weekend. Triple G versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. And we're going to go through the panel here. We'll start with G-Funk. Then we'll pass it over to me, followed by the OG Stormy B-Man, and then DStyleBoxing. So go ahead. Oh, and also with this one, when you're viewing these fights, what are you basing your scoring off of? What criteria are you using when you're formulating who's winning the round and so forth and so forth? So how do you go about doing that?
All right, so looks like I'm up first. All right, so originally I watched the fight and I did a blow by blow commentary on my page or on my channel, and watching it, calling the fight. I didn't actually write down the rounds, but I was keeping track in my head. And at first, I had Triple G winning this fight in a close fight. So I went ahead, rewatched it again the next day. This time, wrote it down on paper. Looked a little bit closer this time. And this time I had Derevyanchenko winning. I had him winning 7-5, 114, 113. Obviously, round one, you got to give Triple G the extra point with the knockdown. I thought he also won round two. Thought he landed the harder, cleaner shots that round. He busted up Derevyanchenko that round with a left hook. The fourth round, I'm sorry, not the fourth, third round, Derevyanchenko came out. I mean, he came out blazing, came out aggressive, won that round big on my card. Round four to me was one of those rounds that could have went either way. So I ended up giving that one to Derevyanchenko also, and the fifth. And that was a close round up until he landed that good body shot to the liver on Triple G and hurt him. And it was obvious that he hurt him. Round six, I felt Triple G landed the cleaner shots that round, as were the volume from Derevyanchenko. I gave Triple G the edge in that one. And also round seven, I thought that round was another close one that could have went either way. I felt like Triple G landed a combination towards the end of that round, and he kind of stole it for me on my card. But rounds 8 through 11, that was where Derevyanchenko really stepped on the gas. And Triple G, I mean, his volume and his constant pressure and the attack on the body was brilliant by Derevyanchenko. Really started to show in that from those rounds, round 8 to 11, you can see Triple G was gassed. He was sucking wind, like he was getting ready to collapse. You know, I mean, I was thinking, man, he might just lose. He might stop. He might just quit in the corner. You know, he was looking exhausted to me. And then I ended up giving him the last round. I ended up giving rounds 8 through 11 to Derevyanchenko, and then I gave Triple G that last round. I felt like Derevyanchenko kind of gave that round away, and he wasn't really that active in that round, so I ended up giving that one to Triple G. But like I said, I had Derevyanchenko win in 7 rounds to 5, 114-113. But I want to say something, man, because when I called the fight live, I wasn't listening to the commentary from DAZN, but Brian Kelly, this guy, really trying to say Triple G caught a case of the sniffles, and that's why he was looking bad in there. I mean, give me a break, man. It's turning into HBO now, with this commentary. But I think that it's getting crazy. Even the punch stats that they show. I mean, you don't need to. I mean, really, if you're just watching the fight, you could just tell that those punch stats were a joke. It's obvious that Derevyanchenko outworked him all night long. So I think there was a stat where they showed, I think Triple G landed more jabs or threw more jabs, something crazy like that. I just almost fell down from laughter when I seen that. But I do think that I know that there's a lot of guys, and probably the next 3 guys on this panel here think that it was a wide decision for Derevyanchenko. I seen it close. I seen, like I said, a few rounds in there that could have went either way. Even Derevyanchenko's trainer, he said, if you go back and watch, he said at the end of the 11th round that it was a close fight and that they might even be behind. He's thinking that they was trailing. But I thought it was a good fight, and I thought Derevyanchenko won, man. Golovkin said he'll give him a rematch. Hopefully he does, because he definitely deserves a rematch. And I think he gets beat, possibly even stopped in that rematch. Triple G does not look like an elite level fighter anymore. And if he doesn't decide to get back in the ring with Derevyanchenko and he goes after the Canelo fight, I think Canelo stops him. I think Charlo stops him. I think Demetrius Andrade stops him. If Jacobs is going to continue to fight at middleweight, which I don't know for sure, but if he fights Jacobs again, I think Jacobs stops him. I don't see him beating anybody at the top right now. I think he's if he's going to continue to fight, he's not going to beat any of these guys. And yeah, that's all I got to say about it, man. So I'll let you guys go ahead and burn this thing up.
All right. So I'll go ahead and give my feed on it. But even before I go on my scorecard, the one thing that stood out with this fight from beginning, as the fighters are coming in the ring, being introduced, to the announcement of a winner in this fight. Coming into the ring with the announcement, this was a heavy Triple G crowd. That crowd was cheering for Triple G in support. You really didn't hear too many people in support of Derevyanchenko. Following the announcement of that of Triple G winning this fight, you heard nothing but boos from that crowd. That was a Triple G crowd, so they flipped on him. When they gave Triple G that mic to speak, those fans booed him. So that was very telling right there. But in my scorecard, in the live, I only had Triple G winning 2 rounds, and that was round number 7 in the first round with the knockdown. And even in that first round, Derevyanchenko started to come back after getting up off of that canvas. But after rewatching the fight, I just added one additional round for Triple G, and that was round 8. So I only had Triple G winning 3 rounds in this fight. The first round, of course, the 10-8, where he scores the knockdown. But it wasn't a devastating type knockdown. It was Derevyanchenko kind of going a defensive type posture to get under a punch. Triple G throwing a punch at the back of the head. So it ended up knocking him off balance. Once he recovered from that knockdown, he went right at Triple G, and that's when the fight began. Derevyanchenko never let up on the gas. He looked very fluid, and what he showed me in this fight is one of the things that troubles Triple G. And those are fighters that can change angles, move well laterally on this dude, and they lock him up. Willie Monroe did it. Kell Brooks did it, along with standing in front of him. Canelo did it. This dude is very stationary. He wants opponents to sit in front of him. And even if Derevyanchenko sat in front of him, there'll probably been nothing Triple G can do. I've seen Triple G throw some of the most thunderous type power punches I've seen him throw in his career, and this dude went nowhere. This dude stood right in front of Triple G. We seen where Triple G would miss shots, and he was throwing so much force in these punches and twerking on them to where Triple G was lifting off the ground and twirling himself because this is how much force he was throwing on these shots. But this dude, Derevyanchenko, he had a great training camp. You can see how well-conditioned he was looking into this fight to where he took this fight serious. And Triple G avoided this guy for a reason. But in the second round, where the cut opened up, I had that as a round for Derevyanchenko. Triple G was missing a lot. He had no jab, no power punches. And the one thing he did in this fight is he was throwing out singular punches. That's what made that punch stat thing seem very flawed to me. Triple G decided to go with the one punch. He didn't put his punches together, worked off the jab, trying to throw out power punches in which Derevyanchenko was making him miss a lot. And when he took the punches, he took them very well. But second round, he was hitting back, tripling up on his jabs, throwing feints at Triple G, which threw Triple G off from establishing his own offense. So very smart move from Derevyanchenko. Round number 3, Derevyanchenko round for me. G up, snapping Triple G's head with the jab, and he was attacking the body. He was attacking Triple G to the body very well. He was able to get on the inside, get up under, and working some of his nice hooks. Triple G was finding shots to the body as well, working off the jab and just sneaking those right hooks down to the body. But like I stated, this dude, Derevyanchenko, didn't buckle from anything thrown by Triple G. Shots in which Triple G the shots he was landing on this guy are the shots that get lower tier opposition out the way for Triple G. Round 4, I had Triple G still doing the one punch at a time thing. He started his attack late in that round. That's when he went on the last 20 seconds is where he went on his attack, but he lost this round just due to his inactivity. What's the name was landing a lot on Triple G. He was moving forward with his attack, Triple G backing up along with getting attacked to the body. He was backing Triple G up to the ropes quite a bit. And this is what started to kind of show the signs that what he was doing had some type of effect on Triple G. Triple G was never able to establish dominance really in this fight. He didn't do anything. It was at times he tried to hold his ground, then he resorted to backing up and going against those ropes. Round 5, that's where it got interesting, where we seen that first crack to the body. Triple G kind of go writhing in pain, trying to get away from this dude. And at this moment, the ref did some weird-ish where he stepped in the way of that. I was bugged out by that. It got me out my seat. I was tripping with the ref stepping in there like he's saving Triple G at why he's hurt and his fighter's trying to go on the attack. That was kind of a little eye-opening thing for me, where I'm like, damn, are they trying to really fix this fight for this dude? And then along with this cut, the way that they wanted to go check on this cut all the time. So I'm like, damn, are they trying to look for a way to stop this fight? But good thing they let it continue on. Round 6, I have as a Derevyanchenko round. Triple G was good on his jab. He was missing all those power shots, but he was being singular with the jab, just not doing enough activity-wise. What's the name? Pivoting the hell out of Triple G. Lateral movements, throwing Triple G off. Too flat-footed, can't keep up with the guy. Derevyanchenko was imposing his strength on him, pushing Triple G back, going on the attack. He was just doing a lot. And then in round 7 was kind of a hard round, a toss-up round for me, but I ended up giving that over to Triple G. Triple G moved forward that whole round. This is the one round in which I didn't see him backing up. He established the control of the ring in this round, so I ended up giving it to him. Along with round number 8, I ended up giving that to Triple G. The rest of the rounds, round 10 is a round which I thought Triple G was about to go up out of here. Derevyanchenko, he was putting them tips on it. He beat the brakes off of Triple G in this round. And every other round after that was the same thing. The championship round or the final round in which they go into, all I seen Triple G doing is clinching. So there's a lot of clinching going on in that round. I gave that round because I saw Derevyanchenko landing the more shots. And plus Derevyanchenko mixed up his shots well. He added a variety of punches rather than doing singular punches. And every time Triple G threw a punch and hit him, Derevyanchenko was right behind him with the punch. But I'll go ahead and pass this one over to the OG Stormy B, man.
Yeah. I am the only one who hasn't seen the fight in its entirety and only had scored highlights simply because my system is down right now as far as my where I get my service through. So there's some upgrades being done or whatever. So I've only been able to see the highlights online, not the complete fight. And I made notes as of when I watched the highlights, which is how I was able to put that video together I did with my comments on the fight. I don't have those notes in front of me for this, but what I wanted to say about the scoring of these championship fights, there's something that is called the 10-point must system when you're scoring the basics in a round in boxing, not just championship boxing, but any professional boxing card. Judges can score on a 10-point scale where most rounds end 10-9 with the more dominant fighter receiving 10 points and the other receiving 9. But if a boxer is knocked down, he loses a point. And if he's knocked down twice, he loses 2 points. If both fighters are knocked down in a round, the knockdowns cancel each other out. And even though it's uncommon, if a fighter completely dominates a round but doesn't score a knockdown, a judge can still score that round 10-8. Now, if a judge happens to see the round being completely even, both fighters can receive the 10 points for the round. If a referee sees fit, he can take away a point or 2 if an intentional foul, if there's an intentional foul, and he can do the same for unintentional fouls, okay? But that usually occurs after a warning. This is the interesting aspect of scoring boxing, and this pertains to this fight in particular, which is why I'm going over it. Even though you can use the regular eyeball test of looking at a fight and think, oh, this guy is winning or whatever, there are other principles that a fight is supposed to be judged upon. Effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, defense, and clean, hard, effective punches. Now, that point right there is the one that catches up with people, because depending on where you're sitting, certain shots can look like they're landing and others may look like they didn't land, which is why you have judges positioned on different sides of the ring. And the television cameras are usually opposite the judges, meaning the main camera will be on the nearest side of the ring, a judge across from that camera, and a judge to the left and right. So that's typically how that goes. Now, with effective aggressiveness, being aggressive gives the impression of dominance, but unless the boxer is landing shots cleanly and not constantly getting countered, it's not necessarily effective. Judges look for effective aggression where the aggressor consistently lands his punches and avoids, the counters from his opponent. With ring generalship, the fighter who controls the action and enforces his will and style, that's where he has an advantage if he's able to do that. And defense is how well a boxer is slipping, parrying, blocking, and getting it is trying to score on him. And good defense is very important. But we're starting to see in boxing today, judges are not scoring on defense. It's lacking. But that's not the only aspect of their scoring that's lacking. But I'm saying all of this to point certain things out. Hard and clean, effective punches being the last principle of what judges are supposed to be looking for. To the untrained eye, it can appear as if a boxer is landing a hard, clean shot when in fact most are being blocked or aren't even landing flush, which means that in the instance of, like in this fight with Triple G and Derevyanchenko's defense was not totally 100% solid, but he was very effective in controlling the tempo of the fight, landing very effective punches. He had Triple G teetering on more than an occasion or two. The way that he was controlling the fight with his left hand, whether he was using the jabs in multiple fashions and hooking off the jab and turning where he was getting out of the way of a return or a receipt from Triple G using angles. That's a part of that defense because his footwork was very good. With him fighting the type of fight that he was fighting and Triple G not having the advantages that he's had against lesser opponents that he was able to stalk, wear down, and impose his will on, how could you justifiably give the fight to Triple G when the opponent was doing everything that he needed to do to not only be competitive, but to take control of the fight? At the end of the day, these judges are not doing their job, not only in this fight, but in many fights that we have watched. These judges, you have to really call them to task on this. They are not doing their jobs. If the fight fan were given the proper information before fights like it used to be, they used to tell you what the scoring was for a fight, meaning like how to go about it, the principles that I listed, and what the judges are looking for and how they score on the 10-point must system. Those rules used to go up before every televised bout, okay, for the audiences at home. And if you watched enough boxing, when you went to the arena to watch a fight live, you knew what to look for. But now they don't even show you that anymore, which is an easier way to take away victories for fighters who have put in the hard sweat, blood, and tears to get in there and compete at the highest level. And these judges, whether they're taking paydays under the table or whatever, because how does a person not score knockdowns when there are knockdowns, or how do they not score dominant rounds? Where you see a guy like in the fight where we saw Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, when Pacquiao hit Thurman with that body shot and he was running around the ring trying to get out of there. If there weren't ropes, he would have run out of the stadium. You can't not look at that and not give Pacquiao a 10-8 round, okay? Because the guy is running. He's running from combat, which is what he's in there for. This is, again, when someone say, well, how did you give him a 10-8 round? He didn't knock him on the floor. That's again, you're within the rules to score appropriately. And also, misappropriation of scoring is what leads to what happened Saturday. When you don't give Derevyanchenko the credit for what he worked for. It's not like, oh, a gift. I'll give him this round. That man was earning rounds. He suffered a cut, he suffered a knockdown, and he battled back as if none of that had even taken place. And as G-Funk said, Triple G was winded. He was gasping. It looked like he might quit because his tank was emptied. And they still giving him a unanimous decision. That is freaking ridiculous. And this is why the audiences should be appalled. You heard that there were boos. Reggie mentioned that in the stadium after the fight. People who were cheering for him on his way in the ring was calling him every word in the cuss book, leaving the ring because he was given something he did not earn. And that is in the hands of these despicable judges, which is why I dropped that video today talking about this stuff, because it is crazy. And it's a shame that newbies to the sport think that they're seeing something, and if it's coerced or if you're influenced, you might think that, oh, well, maybe that is so. Like this Brian Kenny comments during the fights. He's questioning maybe Triple G is sick or something. No, he's getting his ass whooped, and he's an aging guy. He's aging out of the sport. And yet a younger, fresher guy laying it on his ass. You understand? So this is what's happening. But you have to know what you're looking at, which is why I posed the question, do people know how to score boxing? If you did know how to score boxing, then you'll be more than understandable about decisions. And there is no way that Triple G won that fight Saturday night. He did not win that fight. That's what I have to say.
All right, it's on you, G-Funk. I mean, on D-Style, it's on you.
Check it out, man. Okay. Check it out. Right? Let me lay it out with you guys with a Sharpie. Okay. Clean punching, effective aggressiveness, defense, okay, and ring generalship. Those are the 4 criteria to score a fight. Okay. Let me tell you how you don't score a fight. All right. You ready? Who would I rather be? That's not how you score a fight. I saw AJ 10 and Max Zilla say, oh, I really respect Moro's commentary. Really? Dude was saying, all right, that the way you got to give it to the guy that overcame adversity. What are you talking about? Now, he said longest name of all time, Shenko, okay? Like Sergey, he said his name. But that's not, tell people why you thought he won. Not why he overcame the most adversity. Well, you got to give it to the guy that I thought it was close, but you got to give it to a guy with a cut. I mean, you know, like that's not how you score it. And by the way, Brian Kenny, I mean, I'm convinced Triple G slipped like Brian Kenny a 20 under the table right before this fight, man. Okay. There you go, Brian Kenny. All right. After every round, the Homer, okay, Mr. Part-time boxing writer, okay, he's an NBA dude, okay, but he's Sports Illustrated. They don't want to hire a guy that knows boxing to cover boxing, okay? Instead, they'll hire Mannix. Dude don't know shit about boxing, bro. The dude came, he's like, all right, I guess I'll write about boxing. That's how you learn. But anyway, even he's scoring the fight for Derevyanchenko. I got Derevyanchenko winning, right? After every round, trying to influence the vote. Damn, Brian Kenny. You sure you want to score 10, bro? I don't know. It looked kind of close to me. I mean, it could have gone either way, right? I mean, it was razor close to me. Well, don't you think? Don't you think it was kind of close? Are you sure you want to give him that round? Maybe the next round, if it's that close, I mean, would it be fair to give it to Triple G? Maybe. Even with dudes in his ear telling him, are you sure you want to score it that way? He still scored it for him. He still gave him the fight. Now, you had it 6 rounds apiece, the difference being the knockdown. I gave Triple G, after watching it this morning, rounds 1, 2, 6, and 11. That's it. That's all I gave him. That's it. I couldn't give him more than that. You could argue another round for the guy. You really can. All right? But I don't know. Let's look at these. All right? Let's look at this shit. Ready? One judge gave him round, let's see, 1, 2. They gave him 4 straight rounds in the mid rounds, and the round they should have given him, round 11, and he didn't give him that round. How the hell do you have Gennady Golovkin winning all these other rounds, but not round 11? What the fuck? What they're watching? It's like they gave to. Oh shit! I'm scoring too many rounds for Golovkin. I better give one to Derevyanchenko. That's what that is, guys. Okay. When they start sensing that this guy's getting hit, I got to give him some murder rounds. Oh shit! Too many. Let me get. That's how you end up with 115, 112. Who's the other judge? The other judge at 115, 112. Look at this. Reggie, what round was it where he hurt him in the body?
Round 5, and I'm tripping on that.
Round 5, yeah. That was a big round for Derevyanchenko.
In round 10 is when he almost stopped Triple G.
Look, round 8. Look, you could argue round 8 for Triple G. That was a close round. Okay? It really was. But there were a lot of competitive rounds here. This dude didn't win this fight, bro. He didn't win this fight. And I want to show you guys 2 polls really quick. Okay? By the way, all 3 judges, all 3 of them, gave around, not one of them gave the round 12 to Derevyanchenko, whatever, right? Dude has the longest name of all time, I swear to God, right? They couldn't, like, Sergey couldn't get not one of them, bro. Like, how does Derevyanchenko win 11 but not 12? Like something that, like, obviously doesn't add up to me, all right? But that's me. Shout out to Drew Titan in the chat, by the way. Welcome. Right? Shout out to the whole chat. No, Paul, what's up? Check it out. Look at these scorecards, man. Take a snapshot of it. Look at these scorecards. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable to me. Right? Look. Only one judge gave him round 6. These dudes were not scoring the fight, bro. Like, how do you have Triple G winning, but you don't give him the rounds he should have won, and then you give him rounds he shouldn't have won? How the fuck are you scoring this fight? These dudes wrote this shit down before the fight started, bro. Okay? They already knew what the fuck was up. They already knew what the hell was up. A lot of these rounds was like, oh, man, I gave him too many rounds. I should give him this one. Right? That's what it is. This shit is crazy to me. Right? This is how you score fights. This is the criteria. Right? In what way? In what way can anyone tell me, okay, that Golovkin landed the most clean, hard punches? In what world can you tell me that? In what world? And don't give me this whole, but when Golovkin lands it, it counts like 10 of Derevyanchenko's. No, it doesn't. He had this dude bending over. He had him hurt. Okay, he had him on survival mode. Right? He had him in deep waters without a paddle. Without a boat and without a paddle. No life raft, nothing. He was just there, like trying to survive and shit. And these judges gave him that rope. He was drowning and they gave him the rope. And they said, just hang on, Triple G. Just hang on. In what world was he the most effective? He was the one backing up the whole damn fight. And don't tell me that Derevyanchenko wasn't effective in his aggressiveness because he was punishing the guy to the body upstairs. Okay, had him. I mean, come on. And then don't come to me and say, oh, DStyle, you're being. I said Triple G was going to destroy this guy. Am I really the guy you're going to come to and say I'm being biased? Am I really that guy? Defense. Dude, his own trainer said he wasn't defensive. Derevyanchenko was the one hitting him, turning him, stuffing his work. Once in a while, get hit. I already named you 3 that Derevyanchenko clearly won. And ring generalship, are you really going to look at me like if we were face-to-face with a straight face and tell me, oh, yeah, Triple G was the one that controlled the fight. He's the one that did what he wanted to do in that fight. This was Derevyanchenko's fight. And with a cut, by the way. Dude could only see out of one eye half the fight. Right? He could only see, right, out of one eye for half the fight. That's it. Now, you don't mind, Reggie. I'm going to show some of my polls right here. All right? You ready?
Let's see. Let's see.
Okay, let's see these polls, okay? By the way, make sure you throw a jab. Throw a jab at that like button. All right? Make sure you subscribe to Stormy B-Man, to Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens, by the way. But D-Style, you're biased against a superior Eastern athlete, yet he fought an Eastern European. Oh, yeah, I'm being biased against the Eastern European when he fought another Eastern European. Now, I know you're not the one saying that, no, Paul, but I know. All right? I know. But check it out. We're going to take a look at this. We're going to take a look at this. All right? I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe it. First, let's look at my YouTube poll. This is mainly for my subscribers, people that, I have an intelligent boxing base. That's what I have. This isn't a channel filled with a bunch of casuals and shit. Right? Look at this poll. 16% thought Triple G won in a close fight. 27% thought Derevyanchenko won a close fight. Only 3% thought Triple G, right, won wide. That's probably the 3 thumbs up I get every video. Okay? You're wild. Okay, they got to vote. Okay, good. And then Derevyanchenko wide, 55%. Now add it up, dude. That's a large margin. Now, I know it's a sample size, but I want you guys to look at this. All right? It's on Twitter, bro. All right? I couldn't believe it. Look at this. How did you score the fight? 44% thought Triple G won a close fight. Right? 4% thought he won. You notice how even the guys having Triple G winning, none of a small percentage have the dude winning wide. Have you guys noticed that? 34% felt Derevyanchenko won a close fight. 90% thought he won wide. Now, even here, where you have a bunch of casuals, by the way, who were heavily influenced by that DAZN commentary, and don't tell me they weren't, they were, right? Even then, if you take the total tally, okay, 56% of them still thought Derevyanchenko won, right? Still, by the way, make sure you follow me at DStyleBoxing on Twitter, right? We'll put more polls up, right? Now, this is literally anyone could vote on it, okay? It's a little different on Twitter, so there's more casuals voting on this poll, right, than on this poll. So that's why you see that difference, okay? But obviously, the more educated boxing fan is going to have a more educated look. That's why it's more wide. Well, those are my thoughts, Reggie.
Absolutely. All right, let's move over to our next subject. And this is kind of going to roll right over into what we're speaking on. This is about these scorecards as it relates to this fight. But before we move over there, welcome to everybody who's inside of the chat. Those who will catch us on archive, man, once you guys are in here, can you please show us some love by hitting that like button for us? Show us some love. But with this one, we want to get into a little topic, and this deals with a fighter who I kind of feel was unfairly given a defeat based on judges not following the 4 criteria in which we speak of how you judge a fight. And this is Batry Arkhmedov, who fought Mario Barrios on that undercard of Earl Spence versus Sean Porter. We've seen that fight. Many of the conversations that came out of that fight was about how this dude was beating the brakes off of Mario Barrios. Even though Mario scored the 2 knockdowns, this dude was still up ahead on those scorecards. And this dude is disgusted by what happened in that fight. For him losing that fight by wide margins, cheating him out of a victory or even out of a draw. But this is the statements that he says. And also keep in mind, he's appealing this decision. And this is something that I think that may kind of resonate with Sergey Derevyanchenko as well. But let me read his words and then we'll pass it around the panel. Our thoughts on appealing fights when such horrible decision making is made by judges. But Arkhamedov says, I worked my whole life to become a world champion. And when the opportunity came, I clearly wanted to fight. I dominated the fight from start to finish. He's saying rewatch the tape as I have and see how bad Barrios was hurt in every round. After the 10th round, he wanted to quit. He was so badly beaten, I don't even think the judges watched the fight. So we'll pass this around. We'll start with the OG Stormy B-Man, followed by D-Styles, then G-Funk, and then myself afterwards. But we'll go ahead and pass it on.
This is another one of those fights that unquestionably puts you in the mind of what I was just talking about and what D-Style just finished chopping up on with these scorecards and how these judges look to give a, let's just say, a house fighter a victory that he hasn't earned. And until we get to the bottom of this, I mean, that kid fought his behind off, Akhmedov. He did. Barrios was like, get him off of me. You know what I mean? And you can always tell these young fighters that they're grooming for a certain place in the sport because they want a certain demographic to keep and remain invested in the sport. That's it. It's just, I'm sorry, but that's an honest thing there. But the fighter can always justify his position by performing. Okay? But it's when he doesn't perform that everything gets exposed. You talk about exposure. That's the ultimate exposure. When the guy does not measure up and you have an opponent who, not calling anyone an opponent in my comment, but I'm just saying you have the opposition who does perform. Why are you not giving that person the victory that they've earned? See, that's at the end of the day, this is what you have to ask. At the end of the day, why are you not giving the person the victory that they earned? If you are following the rules and how you're supposed to be judging the fight, what I broke down in my last comment. So corruption, at the end of the day, is the word of the day. Corruption. Now, how do you undermine the corruption? If you can convince certain fighters who have the luster, who have the prestige, who have the following, to do away with those damn sanctioning belts, after achieving what they need to achieve, you become undisputed, throw those belts away. I'm the man. Anybody want to claim anything, they got to come and see me. Okay? Sanctioning body can't say nothing. You can go out there and hand the belt to other people. But like Ali said, when Joe Frazier was able to collect his championship without him having lost it in the ring, he's not the champ until he beat me. He's not the champ until he beat me. I'm the real champ. That's how it has to be. You have to have the fighter is supposed to be who makes the title, not the title makes the fighter. Because you can award a bum a title, that don't make him the real champ of the world. And as long as he's got judges in his pockets, promoters in his pockets, he's going to have a certain amount of success as long as he can stay on his feet. But we have seen those who have been told simply that, who haven't even been able to stay on their feet. Anthony Joshua, huh? They can't stay on their feet and hold on to the title. Even though you got them trying to clear the path. It's like they shoveling. You ever seen snow covering the road and they try to clear a path? Just go down that path. You're going to be okay, AJ. But at the other end of that path was Andy Ruiz with a left and a right and an uppercut and an overhand and a hook. And he's down. Huh? That's what happens. If you just take it out of their hands, meaning the judges. It's come back with that corruption. That's why I said when those guys get in there and they start contesting for those titles, like Danny Jacobs in there against Canelo Alvarez, he just showed up. He didn't show up to win. Huh? It was almost a non-performance by the guy. He felt like his hands was tied up or something. But hey, you know, a person that witnesses that, why should they pay a ticket for another Danny Jacobs performance when you saw what he did? There you go. And that's not Canelo's fault. If Canelo could have knocked him out, he would have, because that's the fighter in him. He goes in there to try to get his pound of flesh. But you can't dance a good dance if you don't have a partner. But these judges, the corruption is right in front of your face. It's almost like now they say, well, the people can't do anything about it, and it's a tough loss. It's not a loss. Derevyanchenko won that fight. That's the end of the story. He won that fight. And Triple G is over the hill. He need to go sit down somewhere. That's it.
Yes, indeed. We'll pass it over to D-Style. What's your thoughts on appealing fights?
Well, look. First, regarding this specific fight, okay? Look, man, this how do you pronounce the dude's name, bro? Let me look at it. I got to look at the name. All right, it's Akhmedov. Okay, but I didn't even know who the dude was. Now I know, but I don't know who he was for the fight. Okay, look, man. I don't think he has a case, bro. Right? I know, like, even if you think he won the fight, the question isn't, do you think he won the fight? The question is, like, do you have enough evidence to prove that without a shadow of a doubt he won that fight? And it's hard to prove when, in my opinion, he lost the first 4 rounds, got knocked down in one of those 4 rounds, and then he lost the 12th and got knocked down in the 12th. And almost stopped in the end, in my opinion. And you can talk about, he almost quit, but did he quit, though? Did Mario Barrios quit? No. So you can't say he almost quit, he almost this, he almost that. You can't say any of that, right? What you got to do, all right, if you feel you want, is run that shit back. Just run it back, get your rematch, okay? Do you deserve a rematch? Absolutely, right? Now, does he have a case to not overturn a decision, but maybe get one of those judges suspended for scoring it so wide? Absolutely, you can do that. I believe 1 or 2 of the judges got suspended after the Williams Lara fight. Okay, so that is something that they can do, you know. But you can't, like, dude. I can't recall any fight that's ever been overturned, ever. I don't care how horrible we believe it is. It is a subjective sport, and it's hard with something so subjective to prove to where you could overturn it, right? I mean, that's just a reality. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying all I'm saying is we need to fix the way that this sport is perceived. We need to educate people on how you score fights and stuff like that. But you can't, dude. If you overturn one fight, every other fight's going to get disputed. Every other fight, people think they're getting robbed, and every other fight, it's going to become a never-ending story. You know what I mean? So I believe that if anything, okay, they should run that shit back. You could send a message with the appealing, but the problem is, in this case, dude, I had it a draw, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see how this dude has any case. You know what I mean? Like you got knocked down twice in a fight. You arguably lost like 5 rounds. Like how in the world can you come out and make such a vague statement like I was hurting him every round? Well, you didn't hurt him every round now. Okay. You hurt him in a lot of the middle rounds, right? Okay. How in the world can you come out and say, oh, well, I almost had him quit? Well, what does that have to do with anything? Whether you almost quit or not, it has no effect whatsoever. It doesn't matter. All right. Now, does Derevyanchenko have a case? Well, you could argue, but they're not going to overturn it, dude. The own broadcast team said the decision's okay, and like what are they going to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like you have people arguing, right? I mean, in my poll on Twitter, a majority had Triple G winning a close fight. Overall, more people had Derevyanchenko winning, but of the 4 categories, more people had him winning a close fight. Like you can't. If 100% of people, if you can't get, look, nobody agrees with in anything in boxing. Okay, now whether it's informed, not informed, whatever the case is, you have individuals making arguments that Triple G won. Why did Triple G win it? Because when he hits you, oh, it's more damaging. He scored more damage. You know what I mean? Well, I had him win it because look at Derevyanchenko's face, and I had him win it because, well, whatever the case is, whether we agree or disagree with it, I don't see how that's going to do anything. If these fight, and like I'm not, and by the way, I'm not saying that it's okay to rob fighters. What I'm saying is you can't overturn it, guys. Okay. All right. And yeah, he robbed himself. I get it. The dude got knocked down in the 12th round, bro. And he got knocked down earlier in the fight. You could argue 5 rounds that he lost. I had him losing 5 rounds. So like that's horrible. Derevyanchenko has a better case. You know what I mean? But even, I mean, look. Another pet peeve of mine, by the way, which I forgot to mention, Reggie, really quick. Stop, like the zone kept making it seem like Derevyanchenko had to make up for so much, right? Like, oh man, he got knocked down. And he's been trying to climb back and make up for that knockdown ever since. Dude, this is how many rounds you got to win a fight. That's it. Okay? If you get knocked down one time, this is how many rounds you got to win. All right? That's right. Instead of 115, 113, you'll win 114, 113. That's all. All right? That's it. The people not know that? Okay, so at the end of the day, and again, like you can't, like Teddy Atlas, for example, called the first Triple G fight with Canelo a robbery. Right? So let's say they would have overturned. Like in his mind, it's a clear robbery. So what are you going to do? Are you going to go like come on, bro? Like you're going to go overturn every fight? Like you can't do that, bro. Okay, like, you can't do that. I forgot about that 12th round, that one knockdown thing. One knockdown, guys. You could win 7 rounds and still win the fight. You're in the same predicament as you were before to win. All right. Stay Ready Boxing, what's going on, bro? How's it going? All right. But that's what I got to say about that, Reggie.
All right. We got G-Funk. What's your take on it, bro?
Well, I think that I kind of agree with what D-Style had to say. I don't think that Akhmedov, hope I'm saying it right, I don't think that there's enough substantial evidence for him to try to appeal this thing. I actually had him losing that fight. Thought he fought well. He came back well when it looked like it was going to be a short night possibly for him. But yeah, I just don't see the and I also agree with what D-Style said that Derevyanchenko has a much better chance if he decided to go this route to overturn the decision. But and we could go back in the past and there's so many fights where a guy clearly wins the fight and he doesn't get the decision. We do have to start educating people. Like I mentioned to you guys before about how I've had, 30, 40 people at my place for parties to watch fights, and they have no idea how to score a fight. Like none at all. I just tell them that defense actually counts. You make a guy miss, you counterpunch him, like, you know, that's a part of the score. Like, oh no, you're crazy. I never heard of that. But yeah, we gotta do our part and educate the casual fans that watch boxing. This way, these type of things won't happen. And yeah, the 4 criteria, man: the clean punching, effective aggressiveness, defense, and ring generalship. Man, that's what it's all about. And that's the way I score fights when I look at fights. I don't go off of the certain style that I like or the guy who I predicted to win the fight. I go off of what the scoring criteria is. I feel like even people that have a good understanding of the criteria, sometimes they just go off of what they like, you know, and I don't do that. That's just me. I can only speak for myself. You know, I look for all those things. Sometimes you won't get all those things in a fight, but you know, I do my best to try to see who is winning, you know, the certain criteria more than the other guy. I feel like in the last fight with Derevyanchenko, I feel like he definitely controlled the ring more. I felt like he was the aggressor more, and you know, I felt like his defense was better than Triple G's all night long. So you know, he's got a much better case than Akhmadov. Again, hopefully I'm saying that right. But we also have to try to get rid of these sayings that we hear all the time, like you know, like you guys are saying, oh well, the guy who hits harder, he wins, or the guy who's, you know, who would you rather be, or this guy's going out to the nightclub after and this guy's not, or this guy was cut and this guy wasn't, so he won, or another one is well, he's the champion, so you have to knock him out, you know, to win the fight. Like that is nowhere in the criteria that you just showed. Put it up again, D-Style, if you have it right there. Nowhere in those 4 does it say you got to knock out the champion. I don't see it there. So we got to kill that nonsense, all right, amongst the casuals and even some hardcore fans who still go by stuff like that, you know? So that's all I'm going to say on that one, man.
I love that.
Can I
love
say something
that.
quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of people, by the way, say things, but they don't. Like, I wish Scrapbook was here, but is he still here? I mean, maybe he's listening. I don't know. But look, by the way, Scrapbook's got to go live, by the way. I don't know. Has he gone live yet? He's got to go live, bro. You got to go live, Scrapbook. Right? But check it out. All right? People say things and they don't understand where where it comes from, why those things are said, right? Like the whole you got to take it from the champion thing, right? That's not how you score a fight, okay? Take it from the champion is not a scoring criteria, guys, right? Taking it from the champion is the mentality of the challenger, okay? You guys ever have like a goal and you like aim higher than the goal to make sure you exceed the goal? You know, like that's the whole point, right? Just as that when people say, well, I mean, if you fight somebody in their hometown, I mean, it's like they're 2-3 rounds ahead already, right? Well, that's not how you score. It doesn't mean it should be. The reason they say that is because more than likely, who's going to win the close fight in someone's hometown? The hometown dude. Now, that's not right, though. That doesn't make it right. But people just say those things. That's how it is. Okay? And taking it from the champion. It's not necessarily, all right, that's the scoring criteria, or that is because there's been a lot of corruption in the sport, okay? And a challenger would have to go in with that mentality in order to win a fight, all right? Like, I know I got to win 7 rounds to win a 12-round fight, but shit, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to win 10, okay? Like, I'm not going to give him any reason to argue that for the other guy. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to take it from him. But that should be the mentality of the challenger going into the fight. That should be the mentality of the guy that's, you know, coming in from, you know, finding the hometown guy. That's not a scoring criteria. People have taken that and somehow made it a scoring criteria. You know? Like, I mean, I don't know. I got to give every competitive round to the champion because, man, you got to beat the shit out of the champion to win a round. You know, you got to have the champion, like, you know, fucking dangling against the ropes and just wailing away at him to win that round. Well, that's not a scoring criteria, guys. It's not how you score a fight. People are confusing the mentality that challengers will go into a fight with how you score a fight. What's not how you score it? All right? That's all I got to say about that, Rich.
Absolutely, man. Y'all smoked on this one, man. I ain't got too much to add on to it, but
hey, I have something to add to that. What D-Style said.
Go ahead.
An example of that was that fight that Brian Jennings went over there and fought. What's his name? The slow guy,
Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce. Yeah, you know, he went over there early in the fight. You could see that Jennings was going to present a huge problem for him. Then all of a sudden he switched to the mindset of laying on the ropes and stuff like that. And how do you expect to get a victory and you're doing all of the things that are counterproductive? You're not showing that you want to take the fight. You're actually showing that you're just participating, you know. And he made Joyce look like the aggressor. He made Joyce look like he was effective with aggression. And the judges had it a pretty good margin of victory for Joyce. And he sat there and he had his lip poked out and everything at the end with the scorecards, but it was his fault. It was one of those type of things where he didn't do himself any justice fighting that way. And plus you were in enemy territory and everything. So you didn't even put the effort in to say, I'm here to try to win. And I hate that because that also gives these judges an excuse.
Look, man, it's kind of like if let's say two football teams are going to play, right? Obviously, one football team wants to score as many points as possible, right? If the offense says, man, I got to go in there, we're going to score 50 points. You know what I mean? Now, if they only score 30, but the score is 30-27, they still won. Okay? You can't say, no, but man, those are the Super Bowl champs. You got to score 50 on them. Okay, if you got to really take it from them. Okay, you got to score 50 points. And you said you were going to score 50 points, too. You said you were going to aim for 50. What does it matter? Like, they still outscored them. All right? This is insane, dude. All right? Oh, when you play the NBA champions, you got to outscore them by 10 points. Okay, at the very least, to really prove you're better. Like, what? Oh, yeah, you really got to take it from the Warriors. It's not the Warriors anymore, right? It's the Raptors, whatever, right?
Or how about because they are the champion or they're the more popular team? Like, that doesn't mean that they come into the game with a 10-point lead. Like the Raptors don't have a 10-up score on everybody as soon as before the game starts. You know, and that seems to be the thought in boxing most of the time. And you know, to be quite honest, sometimes it seems that way with some of these scorecards. You know.
Sometimes in sports, bro, like you're going to go play the Lakers or something, right? And we all do it, right? Oh, that's a stupid call, whatever, right? Like, just because a team goes with the mentality of, man, we're going to have to really bring it to them because those refs are going to be on their side, right? It doesn't make it right. And it's not in the rules that, no, the refs should do it. The refs should do it, you know? Like, it's just not the thing, guys. But in boxing, we do it. And I know what people are going to say. No, but those are sports where you score points. In boxing, we judge. Well, they don't do it in figure skating. Okay? And they don't say, oh, that's the Olympic gold medalist. Man, to beat them, you really got to beat them. Okay? Like, if they do 5 spins in the air, you got to do like 10. Fuck 6. You got to do like 10 of them. You really got to take it to them. Yeah, you better beat them good. Like, people don't say that, bro. I'm sorry, Rich. Go ahead.
No, you go. My baby girl is in here. I'm telling her to stop eating this loud ass candy.
Oh, I thought you were telling me like whoa.
No, keep going.
But that's all I got to say about that.
Okay, yeah, man, and also, man, salute to King Louis with the super chat, man. Salute to you, my brother, man, and y'all go subscribe to my brother King Louis, bringing the passion to this boxing talk, man. Y'all salute to King Louis, and also hit that subscribe button to King Louis, and also hit that like button for us as well. But my take on this, when it comes to fighters, hey, chill out. So when it comes to these fighters with these controversial decisions, my thing is that
even she's outraged about the judge, bro.
Yeah, they're mad about these decisions. And my thing is with these controversial scorecards and biased scoring and cheating, and with these judges, is that these sanctioning bodies need to set up programs and protocols for fighters that find themselves in Derevyanchenko type situations. And also almost like how Andy Ruiz was put in a similar situation in that fight when they showed those scorecards and how one of those judges had AJ winning on those cards, shows some of the little scheming and conniving things going on within the sport. Also with Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo, how a judge found a way to give Canelo the fight on their card. So the sanction bodies need to find ways in which fighters and their teams can go about appealing some of these decisions, getting these things reversed within the game. But if they want to set in clean drug programs, they need to set in clean programs about the judges they bring to these fights, to where things can be looked at, these judges reviewed, and coming up with reasonings for why they score whatever round. Because even in this Derevyanchenko round, that first scorecard you showed, round 5, that one judge gave it to Triple G. This is a round where Derevyanchenko hurt this dude severely, and he also gave Lomachenko round number 10, which is a round that Lomachenko spent getting beat on the whole fight. And then also in round number 12, where Lomachenko, Triple G didn't do nothing but hold. So this is just the silliness where fighters need to be giving the opportunities of going about appealing these decisions, having some arbitrator that sits there who knows the sport of boxing, that goes about whether they reverse decisions, make these a no contest, or force fighters right back into rematches. But that's all I got on this one. We'll go ahead and get our final statements and get ready to close out. But also, we got Big Dog Willie's salute for the super chat. Big Dog Willie, he says, appreciate the topics. This needs to be discussed. Yes, indeed, my brother. And thanks for the support. And also, make sure you guys hit that like button. And also, we got the LDBC mixtape out there. I think I've seen someone post it. You guys go ahead and check that out. Show the support as well. But we'll go ahead and get final statements, man. Whoever wants to go close out first, we'll just go around.
Let me go first real quick. All right. Look, guys. Okay. Tomorrow, by the way, a puncher's chance with Ashy Knuckles. Okay, that's number 1. So make sure you guys tune into that. And if you can't watch it on archive, it's okay. I'm sorry, live. You can watch it on archive. It's all good. Okay. For those watching archive, make sure you throw a jab at the like button. Much appreciated, man. I appreciate the support. Okay. And right here in front of everybody, look at this, with everyone here. Okay. Now I'm still not sure when, but so I can't do the 26th, but all right. D-Style wants to go into the eye of the storm. Okay, on Stormy B Man's channel on some set. I want to go. I want to be in the eye of the storm. This is the calm before the storm. I want to go into the eye of the storm. Right. So I'm just officially announcing that, like, in front of everybody, which is just to plug in his channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to Stormy B Man. Make sure you subscribe to G Funk, and make sure you subscribe to Boxing Conversation, and give him a round of applause, okay, for hosting the show. Look at this, okay. There we go. All right, make sure you throw a thumbs up for that. Go ahead, guys.
Well, I guess I'll go. Hey, man, you are welcome on the In the Eye of the Storm. As soon as we're able to line the date up for you, and you know, at your availability, and you're also welcome anytime on the Friday night chop session, which I got going over there at the Stormy B Man channel. And don't forget, if you like food, you can tune in to the Dine and Dish that I put out there too. So Stormy B Man is becoming a man of multiple hats, and gonna get a little facts, you know, out there talking about the foods and the eats. But hey, man, thank you for having me on your channel this evening. I enjoyed chopping this up with you guys. It is always a pleasure. We had really good content and discussion this evening, like someone in the chat said. And I was just kind of sitting here in thought as everything was being discussed. And I was like, you know, this is a really good conversation, because we actually touched on some things that many people have kind of walked around the block of conversation wise, but we kind of went in depth a little bit, and I appreciate that anytime that we can go deep on subject and content. So I think everybody here deserves a round of applause for that. And I want to say shout out to the chat and everybody that came and supported us this evening. And I love being out here with you guys. You're good brothers, and I enjoy it. G Funk, much respect to you, Reggie and D Styles, man. And anytime you guys want me as a fourth wheel, let me know. I'm there for you, brothers.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You gonna go G Funk or?
Yeah, I'll go, man. Well, first, like I always do, man, at the end of the show, I always want to thank D Style for having me on the platform. Appreciate it. Thank you to Reggie for taking over as the host of the show tonight. You did a fantastic job, brother. Stormy B, as always, man, you always got the goods when it comes to boxing. And I just want to say that I think that we should definitely, because I know right now it's fight season. We got a lot of fights coming up. But we should definitely dedicate one show where we talk about how we can fix these problems with boxing, as far as not just the scoring and how to score, but also the sanctioning bodies and these trinket belts that they have. There's just too many.
Go show. Ahead. We're gonna need a marathon for that, but I hear.
Hey, yeah, let's do a 2-3 hour marathon on that one, man, because something has to be done, man, because too many times we see guys come up on the short end of the stick when they deserve the victory. They go in there, they train for months, they bust their ass, they give the blood, sweat, and tears to the sport just so they can go in there and get robbed on the scorecards when everybody knows that they won the fight. It really does piss me off, man. So, something's got to be done, man. And if we could get that wheel grinding, if we can, let's do it, man. I'm down for it anytime. But I love this panel, man. I love the four guys, man. This is becoming like the Four Horsemen, man. I don't know if Reggie and Stormy B watch pro wrestling, but this is like the Four Horsemen, baby. Woo! You know what I'm saying? So, but again, thanks to you guys for having me on. Subscribe to D Style, Reggie Owens, Stormy B, man. Subscribe to G Funky 84 Boxing. Thanks for all the support from the super chats and the jabs to the like button. And let's keep this boxing thing rolling, man.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And man, I always appreciate coming on with you. From us, man. Hey, I appreciate the heck out of it. OG wisdom from Stormy B, man. And this is why you don't hit on old folks. This wisdom that they share, the wisdom you can gain, life experience that they can teach and coach you.
Hey, I ain't that old now.
But this is why you protect certain people within society. So appreciate the wisdom that comes from the OG and even from the rest of us, man. So much wisdom, man. We speak on this sport, speak passionately about it, even amongst the community. We have different ideals we share. We may disagree, butt heads at times, but remember, it's all love. Everything ain't about being in agreement. It's all love. So I appreciate that. And like I always say, conversation rules the nation. So it's always great to get on here with you guys. But that's all I have as we get ready to close on out. What do we say?
Keep it boxing.
Keep it boxing.
Keep it boxing.